Hi, I'm Denise Applegate-Schober, and I'm here to tell you about QBOT and the 4-point scaling that's with the version 2.0. So I'm really excited today to show you this. Right now, QBOT has been turned on and we have a design selected. So I'm going to navigate over to the start, and it says, would you like scaling type 2-point or 4-point? So we're going to go to 4-point. And it says place on upper right. So in my block, I'm going to take my foot and place it in the right upper, and then it says place in the right lower. So I'm going to do the same thing, and when you do that, when you're done, you're going to press go. It says now go to the left upper, press go, and the left lower, and press go. The next question is, would you like to keep it proportional, yes or no? For this exercise, we're going to tell it yes. And it says set rotation degrees. We're going to say 0. And it's scaling the file. Now there's a feature here that comes up and it says trace boundary, no or yes, and it tells us what percent the design is at. We're going to trace the boundary, so we're going to navigate over to the yes, and it's going to trace the outer boundary of the design on the quilt block. It will go all the way around the square area that we selected. And it goes in a counterclockwise movement. So it's going across the bottom, it's going to go up the right hand side, across the top, and then down the left. If it's not quite where you want it, you could redo your parameter settings by selecting your right upper, right lower, left upper, left lower, and begin again. Or you could reduce the percent from the 215% or whatever your percent came up to a different percent. So it's almost at the end. It's exactly where we want it. So it says tracing complete. We're going to continue by pushing the go button. It says press go to move to start. Now I don't really know where my start is. QBOT does. So when we press the go button, it will move the machine to the start position. Once you get to that start position, QBOT says fine tune or press go to start. Well, here it's really important that we pull up our bobbin thread. So I'm going to do needle up down and pull the bobbin thread up to the top. Keep it out of the way. I can trim that with the scissors as we go. If we needed to fine tune, we would use our navigational arrows, right, left, or up or down, to move where we needed to go, but we're actually exactly where we need to be. So we're going to push the go button on QBOT and begin. I'm going to trim these threads out of the way. And you can fine-tune your thread trimming later, or you could bury it with a handicap hand sewing needle into the quilt. So you'll notice that right now QBOT says that we're quilting the square. It's scaled to the 215% that we talked about, and 57% of the square is done. So QBOT will tell you how far along you are in your quilting. The VL is the speed that QBOT is set at, and right now it's set at 100%. Well, we're 2/3 done, actually over 2/3 done, and you can see that with selecting that upper right, the lower right, the left upper, and the left lower, that QBOT has put this design into that block with this 4-point scaling and fit it right inside of that parameter area that we selected of the block. One more time around and I think we're going to be done. So proportional, yes. As we're finishing up here, proportional, yes. This was originally a square block, so as you look at this, it's still a square. Proportional, yes, we'll always keep it a square, as long as that was the original format of the design. So now we've seen the 4-point scaling with the proportional yes, and we're going to show you the difference between yes and no proportional. So we still have our square. We're back at the start with QBOT. We need to pull our bobbin thread up. A really good practice to get in is to pull your bobbin thread up. So when you're at the end of a design, if you slide your machine away and you hold your bobbin thread and then put the machine back, you're going to drop the needle down in the same hole that you stopped in, and now you can pull that bobbin thread right up. So I can grab it with my fingers and it pulls up, and I can clip those threads. Slide that thread away and throw it away, and you're all set to go. Now we're going to do a rectangle. So we have 2 blocks here that we're going to make the design that you see already into a non-proportional. So we've got square. It says start on QBOT, so we're going to push the go button. It says 2-point scaling or 4-point scaling type. We're going to navigate to 4. So here we're going to do our corners. Right upper, press go. Right lower, and you'll notice we've gone from a rectangle, or from a square to a rectangle. Left upper, left lower. Proportional no. What that's going to do is it's going to put the square design into a rectangle and fill the space. Push the go button. We're not going to rotate, we're going to keep that at 0. Now it says the design is set at 100%, and the reason it's 100%, it's 100% of the space that we selected. Go equals move to start. We're going to move to start, and again we're going to do that same practice that we did when we ended the design at the beginning of this design, where we pull our bobbin thread up to the top. So needle up, down, slide the thread under the foot, and the bobbin thread is laying there. And we're ready to go. If we needed to fine tune, we'd go to QBOT and fine tune, but we're exactly where we need to be. We're going to push the go button. And it's fitting, again, the square into the rectangle. So you can see here that it's already changed the design to become elongated into that space. And you'll notice a difference. The first block that we did does not go all the way out to the edge. The distance between each of the rows is exactly the same. Where here, the block, the distance between the rows is different on left and right side from the top and the bottom. That's how it fitted into that space. So more than 3/4 of the way around. I really like the difference between the blocks, so it'll make you visually look at your blocks differently and how you select your proportional yes or no. Personally, I use proportional no more than I use proportional yes, just because I want to fill the space. So it just makes me think, or will make you think a little differently when you look at a block. Got one more time around and it will be complete. Once it's complete, again, we're going to pull that bobbin thread up to the top for a good quilting practice. And then we're going to go in and show you how to do an odd shaped block like a triangle. So we'll do 4-point scaling with a triangle. Fills that space nicely. It's going to end exactly where it ended on the original block, as it started where it actually started with the first block. So proportional yes and proportional no. Now let's pull our bobbin thread up. So we're going to slide the machine out of the way, hold the top thread, do needle up, down, pull the machine away, which will pull that bobbin thread up, and we'll clip those.